Well, folks, we're visiting today with Brittany Brandt and Eric Hayhurst. They're the owners of Burn Boot Camp, located right here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Brittany and Eric, thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us today.
Yeah, I look forward to having a discussion about you and your story and your business.
Positively West Virginia is powered by Breezeline high-speed fiber internet and sponsored by Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Key of Morgantown, and Storymaker. With the help of these sponsors, we are able to share the positive business stories of West Virginians, including the one featured in today's episode.
Brittany, tell us a little bit about your business, Burn Boot Camp. Tell us what you do.
Yeah.
Sounds intriguing.
So Burn Boot Camp is, we're a gym and we offer 45-minute workouts. We call them camps. They're high intensity, high energy, and it's a great mix of strength-based and conditioning-based workouts.
Yeah, I love it. Now, are you part of a network, a franchise? Tell us a little bit about the business model.
Yeah, Burn Boot Camp is a franchise, and there are over 400 locations currently open right now across the country. And we were the first in West Virginia, State 43. So
yeah, that's wonderful. How did you get started? How did this idea come about?
Yeah, so I lived in Morgantown for 2 years, then I moved away to Norfolk, Virginia, and that's where I was first introduced to the brand, and I just fell in love with the workouts. I used to be an athlete, and so I just loved everything that Burn was about, and the community, and specifically helping women kind of get healthy and find themselves in adulthood.
That's great. Well, tell us a little bit about your athletic career.
Sure.
You said you were an athlete.
Growing up, I tried every sport imaginable, but then in high school, I focused on soccer and basketball. And then in college, I played soccer for 1 year before retiring.
Yeah, okay.
But I've always been active. I've worked in the fitness industry for 13 years after finishing being an athlete.
Okay, that's great. Eric, now you guys are business partners, but you're soon to be married as well.
That's right. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pretty exciting. Yep. Tell us a little bit about your involvement.
Yeah, so I'm not the fitness professional. That's Brittany. Brittany introduced me to Burn. We actually, the first time I went to Burn, we were talking about what she might do when she came back here to Morgantown, and she brought the idea of Burn Boot Camp to me, and we went down to the headquarters in Lake Norman, North Carolina. My first ever workout at Burn was at the headquarters gym, in what's called a metabolic conditioning, probably one of our toughest workouts. So I was feet to the fire, introduced that way. And we just sort of both fell in love, not just the workout, but the company itself. It's a family-owned company, and we decided it was definitely something great. Morgantown needed.
Yeah, I love the story, and I love the inspiration. Brittany, if you could tell us maybe a little bit about that journey. Okay, so you find out about it, you go do a Metcon at the corporate, right? And then you're like, okay, we're in.
You got the lingo down, Metcon.
Yeah. Well, so talk a little bit about like the journey of like the franchise discovery. I know there's all sorts of things you have to go through, hoops you have to jump through, papers you have to sign for disclosure and so forth. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, well, when first I started off in January of 2024, they did a webinar about what it takes to own a Burn Boot Camp and capital, cash flow, all those things.
Yeah, very important stuff.
Yes. So that was kind of step one in figuring out what we needed. And then step two is discovery day, where they kind of tell you all about the company, take a workout, and, meet the CEO and the visionary, all that stuff. After that, you have to sign their franchise
disclosure
document, so you can get all their numbers, and that's before you make the commitment. And then after that, they wanted to meet with us, like the CEO Morgan and the visionary Devin, talk with us to kind of just get to know us, because it's as much as them trusting us as us trusting them. So after that, then we signed the franchise agreement, and it was about month and a half from when we went to Discovery Day to us signing the franchise agreement. So it wasn't super long process, but it definitely, we wanted to do our due diligence on everything.
Of course. I love it. And I think that you're onto something here, because I like to talk a lot about, the entrepreneurial spirit and what it takes to start a business. And for the most part, it's pretty easy to start a business, but to grow one long term, that's really difficult. And there's lots of pathways to entrepreneurship. You can, start something from scratch. You can have a family business. You could buy an existing business. You can buy a franchise. And a lot of people might think, wow, you just buy a franchise, next thing you know, you're up and running. But there is a lot of work that goes into it. You're just scratching the surface, I'm sure. So, was there any point that you were thinking, like, are we doing this? Is this like really happening? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I would say in April, the franchise development team emailed us and said that there were other people interested in the territory. And so to me, that was a sign that other people believed that it could work in Morgantown specifically. And so I think that, we were pretty much we were bought in by that point. We just hadn't signed everything. And so that kind of was the final push of, okay, if we don't do this, somebody else might capitalize on it. And so that was kind of even just like a further sign of other people believing in the product.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to a friend recently here in West Virginia who was looking to get into a franchise. It was a brand that he loved and everything like that. And he said, I'm going to go explore this. And he found out that somebody had already claimed the rights, and they were in the process of building a franchise brand here in West Virginia. And he missed the boat. So that may or not have been a pressure tactic, but the fact is that there are, when you get a great idea, there's other people out there thinking about it too.
Yeah, we I can tell you, personally, I not experienced it as long as Brittany had, and I definitely fell in love with the product and just the energy coming from Burn, and knew I was a member at another fitness concept in town, and it's just a different concept. Not good versus bad, just different, and there was nothing like it here. One of our major selling points or amenities at the gym is we have complimentary child watch with your membership. There's nothing like that here for the public to utilize. So, and the focus of Burn, though we have lots of men members, the focus is on women and mothers and the fitness product. And so bringing that, we know there's a child care issue, but bringing that to Morgantown and allowing the moms of Morgantown to have a place where they can go for 45 minutes to get their workout in for themselves while their children are being watched by
That's amazing.
Staff.
You're filling a need, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always talk about the best business ideas, in my humble opinion, are those that solve a problem. And it sounds like you got a couple of problems right there that you solve. Brittany, tell us a little bit about what you're known for, like the specific workout. And I know you brought some supplements too. Maybe you can talk about both of those things if you would.
Absolutely. Well, aside from the Child Watch, that is a huge seller. Our workouts, I love that we split them up between strength and conditioning, so you know what you're coming for and what you're working on, rather than trying to fit it all in one. And I think that we put a heavy emphasis on strength training, which is becoming much more popular with women, and especially women as we age as well. Once you get 40 and later, the osteoporosis and just being able to move and play with your children, get up off the floor, and that takes all the way up until 80s, 90s, 100 years old. And so having that basis that my mom created for me, but my grandmother didn't necessarily have before. So I think that's kind of the landscape that we're changing with the strength training and making it accessible for women, and the trainers can help them, especially people saying, I don't know where to start or what to do, and I just stand in the gym staring at things. But for us,
we're
there.
Is it like a structured class then? Everybody's kind of doing the same thing, maybe scaling it to their abilities or something like that? Is that how it kind of works? Or
Yes. So there's a trainer there that leads everybody start to finish, and we mostly work in stations, and anything can be modified to any fitness level, or if somebody has an injury or any limitation, just letting the trainer know what that is so that we can appropriately program for them while still keeping the integrity of the workout.
Yeah. So I'm curious, we talk about the programming. Is it something that the burn boot camps across the country are all doing the same programming on a given day, or is it, matched to I'm curious how that works.
It is. So HQ puts out the protocol, as we call it.
Here's our workout today.
Okay. It's actually programmed for 30 days in advance.
Oh, great.
So, our trainers know what the workout is as we're, coming in, and every workout is through the day is the same, but we never have the same 2 workouts ever.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
There's different protocol every day.
Yeah,
constantly changing.
Yeah, that's great. Well, talk a little bit about the supplements then, because looks like you've got your own branded Burn Boot Camp supplements, which are an essential part of a healthy workout regimen, right? Making sure that you have the nutrients. So whoever wants to take that one, you guys can just jump right in.
Another thing that Burn is really big on is the nutrition aspect of the business. I mean, fitness and, results are made in the kitchen. So our supplements are not to replace food or meals or anything like that, but it is a supplement to help you become the best version of yourself. We have our protein powder, so easy peasy shakes or added into Greek yogurt for breakfast. We have a few more products than we brought in today. We just brought a few, but collagen. Burn is very big on protecting the joints and aging in a healthy way, and creatine to help with recovery. The workouts sometimes can be metabolic conditioning, can be intense, so recovering well is important. And we have a pre-workout, which is not like other pre-workouts where it has a ton of caffeine. So it's just a little extra boost rather than that jittery, itchy feeling you typically get. And then my probably favorite is our Replenish, which is our electrolyte drink. And I love that it's 0 sugar, 0 calories, not added junk in there. Some of the other stuff you find on the shelf.
Yeah. Especially this time of year when it's 94 degrees out.
Yeah. Yes, and you can make it into popsicles.
That's great.
And it has flavor. It has very good flavor.
It's not gross.
It's also very fine powder, so it mixes really well with water. I know some of those are gritty. I don't know, seems like we might be hawking stuff, but it's part of the business. But it's as again, I always say this because I'm not the fitness professional. I'm not the guy that ever did this before. They're good. It's legitimately good
quality,
good stuff.
Good stuff. So, well, it's like you said, fitness begins in the kitchen. I like that. That's very good. This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back.
Your prescriptions are designed to keep you healthy, active, full of life. At Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're making vital medicine more affordable. Because when your prescriptions don't cost an arm and a leg, you can use those limbs for something more meaningful. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, West Virginia.
Folks, we're visiting with Brittany Brandt and Eric Hayhurst. They're the owners of Burn Boot Camp. It's a franchise model, bringing it to West Virginia, the first one here in West Virginia, in Morgantown. Guys, I'm really excited for you. So you opened the business about 5 months ago, February 2025. How's it going?
Go ahead, Eric.
Surpassing our expectations. We're doing really well. One of the things that couple of things that we've encountered, just, having a new brand anywhere is brand awareness and getting the word out. That's why one of the reasons we're here today is to help folks understand what we are. There was no other, Burn in West Virginia. There are actually 7 in Pittsburgh, but we're the first here. And then the other thing that we want to make sure people know is that anyone can do it. Sometimes folks see our workouts and they look a little challenging. They are challenging, but they're challenging for wherever you are. And so we'll meet our trainers are well trained, they're certified, they will tailor the workout to meet individuals where they are. So those have been a little bit of our growing pains, but our community's responded really well. We're over 260 members right now, which is beyond where we wanted to be. And by the fall, we expect to be over 300 and just keep growing.
Amazing. That's wonderful. Do you have a 30-second pitch? In other words, when you meet somebody for the first time and they say, what in the heck is Burn Boot Camp? What do you tell them?
Yeah, I'll take that since I'm probably the one most to saying that. So I say Burn Boot Camp, we offer 45-minute strength and conditioning based workouts. They're high energy, high intensity. They can be modified for any fitness level. And we also specialize with pregnancy modifications for our mamas. We offer complimentary child watch with our membership. And we also offer nutrition guidance. We offer focus meetings, which are 15 minutes meetings with the trainers to talk about your goals. And that can be anything from nutrition, but it can also be, let's work on a squat, or I want to be able to do a push-up better. And we can really break it down and focus on that.
Yeah, Eric, first of all, Brittany, great.
Thank you.
That's wonderful for 5 months in. You got it down pretty well. And I think about, like, Eric, you had mentioned that the workouts are for anybody. But honestly, you don't need to have, lift a lot of weight. You can just do body weight. Like you mentioned squats, Brittany. And if you do a full air squat, that's challenging for a lot of people. But just build up to that. And that's going to be a functional movement that you can use to play with your grandkids, or, tie your shoes, or pick up something off the floor that you dropped, right? So I love what you guys are doing. You're bringing it to Morgantown. I love the concept. And honestly, I hadn't heard about it till you reached out. So I'm glad you did. And I'm more than happy to get the word out. Where do you find that your customers are coming from? Are they right here in Morgantown? Are they traveling to get to Burn? Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Just two things I want to add to what Brittany said is we haven't mentioned these. One thing you mentioned was we offer functional training. It's not just, weightlifting, just the weight lift. It's functional movements. Burn specializes in that. And then the second part is, we haven't mentioned this yet, but we have a floating, what we call floating floor. It's unique to Burn. It's basically, think like a boxing ring. It has give to it, the floor.
Oh, no kidding.
So that helps with your joints.
Amazing.
So when you're doing those movements, you're not
big.
doing it on concrete or a rubber floor.
That's super cool.
And then to get to your question, in West Virginia, as born and raised in West Virginia, we're used to traveling wherever we need to go to get to places. And so we have folks, obviously most of our members are here within Morgantown, the Cheat Lake, Star City, Suncrest area, but we have members traveling from Fairmont, West Virginia, from Uniontown, PA, all over to get to, because it's a quality product. And we have camp times beginning at 5:30 a.m. and our last one's at 6:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. So we have a lot of offerings for folks to get here, and some of those folks work in town, some of them don't. So they're able to get here, and it's really an attractive product for folks around the region.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. What would you say, Brittany, is the thing you're most excited about? I mean, you're 5 months in, so you're really growing this thing fast. What's the thing that's most exciting right now?
I think for me, it's being able to provide a safe space for women specifically. We have a lot of men that come with their spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend.
Yeah.
But, women to have a space to feel stronger and not intimidated. For me, it's helping moms that are pregnant and postpartum. That's something that we specialize in, that people have mentioned to me that they haven't been able to get that necessarily somewhere else. And then building the community that we have, doing extra things outside of the gym. Like we have a book club. We offer yoga once a month to help with recovery. And we're getting into some other special groups for people to meet each other outside the gym.
So cool.
Yeah.
So important too. Because once you get, build that community, then there's a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, and also a lot of fun in getting fit with your friends, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's super cool.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've had,
that's great.
I wish we could bring on some members to give their testimonials, because we've had some amazing feedback from women and men, both who have joined our community, and it's been, it changes their lives. And actually, we just got back from our summit in Dallas, and had some great stories there, of folks not just changing, but saving lives. Maybe the long term, but getting folks out of maybe a bad place, a dark place that they're in, just to give them that 45 minutes of me time, and then also surround them with people who are in the like-minded, in the same boat as them.
That's wonderful.
And we've had some great stories.
You
already.
mentioned the summit. Is that part of the franchise? Is that like an annual meeting or something?
It is.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
we just
I bet you came back from that pumped up.
Absolutely. It was just like our workouts. It was high energy and lots of excitement around it. But more than that, here's what I will say. I've never been. I am another business. I started my own business. I'm a lawyer by trade, but and I've built that up. But one thing I will say about Burn is that they're very receptive to not only their franchise partners, but their member feedback. And they're constantly innovating and changing based on the needs of the people who come and own their businesses.
So important.
And so there are a lot of changes coming in the near future for Burn, just in processes and things. We're adding additional protocols that feedback. They had feedback on the protocols they wanted to add. So it more than just a rah-rah cheerleading thing, it was a lot of talking about how to innovate and changes coming down the road and feedback. While we were there were several feedback sessions, and they'll take those things into consideration and continuously, build the business to meet not only their owners, but their members where they are.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back. Stay connected with an unbeatable deal from Breezeline. Voted best in Mountaineer Country for their reliable, high-speed fiber internet for a low cost, Breezeline is the best gig in town. Here at InnerAction Media, we rely on high-speed internet every single day to ensure we can deliver the best content possible for our clients and when we publish Positively West Virginia each week. That's why we use Breezeline. It's affordable, fast, and they're great people as well. Learn more about Breezeline's internet, TV, and mobile options at breezeline.com. Folks, we're back. We're visiting with Brittany Brandt and Eric Hayhurst. They own Burn Boot Camp in Morgantown. It's a national franchise, and they're the first, bringing the first one here to West Virginia, to Morgantown. Brittany, you've been at this five months or so now. What's the most interesting thing you've seen so far?
I would say, honestly, the connections that people make so quickly. Just the friendships that people have made and how Burn has brought people together. And we've had members who used to be Burn members elsewhere, and when we brought it here, they were really excited, and to see that excitement bleed into people so quickly. And we have a few members that are just so passionate. They've seen great results, not only physically, but just mentally and for their families. And some other members have just really noticed a change. And so I think that's been the most interesting part of, I anticipated it, but I don't know, just the friendship's so fast. It's so kind of crazy.
Yeah. I call those raving fans.
Yes.
When they're really, advocating for your business and helping you spread the message about Burn and the products and offerings you have. So I think that's super cool. How do you get, as a new business, how do you get the word out there? How do you attract new people to come in?
Yeah. Besides using social media, that's a really nice tool that we have to use. We rely heavily on referrals from our members, and we do just as many events as we possibly can, and partnering with other businesses too, and having really just benefit from their customers and pushing our members to, their business as well. So always looking to partner with people. Shameless plug.
That's great. I love it. Yeah.
But I would say that, and just reaching out, Teacher Appreciation Week, we went around and delivered things to the schools to invite teachers in. Right now we're doing free camp for healthcare professionals through all July. We run a free trial all the time most of the time for people, but specifically healthcare workers for this month.
Yeah. So the free trial, is that come in and try, drop in for a class and just see how it goes and get exposure to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in addition, right now we are offering a 7-day free trial. So you can try most of our formats that we offer. So you'll get a good mix of the strength and conditioning based workouts. That's
great. So as I'm listening to you talk, is it free weights? Is it machines? Can you maybe explain a little bit about what somebody could expect if they wanted to try a 7-day trial?
The majority of our weights are dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of other functional pieces like battle ropes,
cool.
suspension trainers, which are similar to TRX. We have a pull-up rig and bands, handled resistance bands, ankle bands, kettlebells, medicine balls.
Everything you would need.
Yeah, plyo boxes, all that stuff.
That's great.
So
I love it. That's very cool. So what is the biggest challenge that you guys are facing right now? What would you say that is? Maybe I'll throw that over to Eric.
Yeah, I think, again, I'll go back to brand awareness. I think that's the biggest challenge. I will say, once you get in, we get folks in the gym, they're hooked.
Yeah.
We're closing
great.
on new memberships at a very high rate because people, two things. One, the workout is a very good workout. It's challenging and it's functional and it will get you feeling good quickly. But two is the community aspect. It's just we have a very inviting gym, very inviting community.
Yeah.
Folks are no, to steal a line. There's no judgment in our gym, and folks are very welcoming. It's a bright, beautiful space, and
great.
people just love to be in it.
Where is the space located physically? Like, where are you?
Yeah, the address is 900 Business Park Drive. It's on off Point Marion Road in the West Run Business Park. Right in the corner there. We have a big building, nice blue sign on the outside.
All right, very cool. Yeah, I love that. It's interesting just listening to you talk, Eric, about the experience of people being hooked. There's something about being in a fitness class where you are doing a similar workout with somebody right next to you, and you're both kind of maybe sweating a little bit together, maybe grimacing a little bit, maybe having a little bit of pain, but there's that sense of community really bonds people together.
Yeah, I will say, as a non-fitness professional, somebody who, before Burn, I was in another fitness concept, but and I would go to the gym on and off, but I really like that structure of a trainer who knows what they're doing. I don't, telling me, the best way to work out and helping me through that, and add to that the energy that comes with it. So the other part of Burn is we offer one-on-one training in a group setting. So their trainers will train you individually. They'll train the camp as a whole and groups as you're working through a station. So they're busy. They work hard, and they're very good at what they do. And that, to me, again, is somebody who's not super familiar. Although I'm getting more familiar with how to train, it is really helpful for those who, as I said before, whether you haven't worked out in weeks, months, years, or ever, like, you can come into our gym and get a really good workout because you don't have to think about it. You just do what the trainer tells you to, and they'll mod you or meet you where you are and help you through that.
That's great. Brittany, I know that Eric is from, born and raised in Wetzel County, West Virginia. Where are you from originally?
So I grew up in Iowa, and I have lived a little bit of everywhere. I think like 8 different states at this point. And when I first moved to West Virginia, I worked at WVU for a couple of years.
Great.
Then moved away and came back. And so now Morgantown is our permanent home for the foreseeable future.
I love it. So what's the vision you have long-term for Burn Boot Camp?
Well, I would love to eventually grow the gym, 500 member plus facility. I would love for members to be able to have their own little pockets of groups and interest groups, like I mentioned, book club and some other things. I want to be the place that I wish I had when I first moved to Morgantown, because I didn't really know how to meet people. Or where to meet people, and
It could be challenging.
yeah, there isn't, like other places I've lived, there were maybe young professional groups or other things like that. And so for Burn, when someone comes in for the first time, you're going to be introduced to people right away, not just your trainer, but other people on the floor, other members working out next to you. Like, you're going to have an instant face that that came to that camp. And so that's what I want Burn to be, is I want it to be the place where someone's new to town and they're like, where should I go to meet people? You should go to Burn Boot Camp.
I love it. That's a great vision. I'm going to ask this question of both of you. I'll start with Brittany. When you think about leadership, what do you think is the most important attribute of a successful business leader today?
One of the things that I think that you just have to have for yourself, it really is resilience. Because not every day is going to be the best day, but on the flip side, not every day is going to be rock bottom. And I also think that leading with love is really important, and being authentic rather than, I don't want someone to just come into Burn and feel like, well, she's just trying to sell me on this. I want them to actually feel like I care, and that I want them to succeed in whatever it is. If they just want to improve their mental health, if they want to lose weight, I want them to feel that I actually care, and I'm not just trying to have them there as a head in my gym.
Yeah, that's great. Eric, from your perspective, what's the most important leadership trait?
I've always been a lead by example type guy, and you know, we hear a lot, do as I say, not as I do. And I don't like that. You know, if I'm, for instance, we brought these products here, right? And I tell all of our trainers, like, look, if you're going to sell, part of your job selling, right? You need to take the product. You need to believe in them, you know, and we want folks to, you know, do the right things and lead by example, whether it's being in camp, taking camp, or the products, or just treating people, you know, the right and appropriate way. I think leadership by example is very important.
Sure,
and
that builds on that authenticity and leading by love. Is that how you said it? Leading by love.
Leading with love.
Leading with love. I love that. That's so cool. I appreciate you guys sharing that. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody maybe listening to this, thinking about starting a business, maybe thinking about buying it into a franchise model? What advice would you give them?
Well, I think with any franchise, you definitely need to do your research and make sure that it's something that you want to be a part of, and it's something that you believe in, and that the leaders from the top down are people that, you know, you support, you follow, and, you know, you want to be a part of that brand. And then in terms of just starting a business, it's a lot of hard work, which I knew that, but it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. But it's just one of those things where if you're thinking about it, you just have to do it, and you're along for the ride, and there's going to be really high highs, and sometimes there might be days where it's like, kind of tough to get going, but
sometimes in the same hour.
Yeah, that too. In like the 1 minute to the next. But I also think it's just passion and having passion for what you're doing. Fitness is something I've always been passionate about, and that's something that a lot of my previous bosses that I've had, that they could just tell I was passionate. And so I've kind of shifted from the different demographic of people. So now it's really like moms and women specifically.
Knowing
more
your
so.
audience is very important. Eric, how about from your perspective? I mean, obviously this is your second entrepreneurial venture that I know of, right? Your law firm.
Just two, yeah.
So what would you say is the advice you would give to somebody thinking about starting a business?
Yeah, what I often hear, particularly from the lawyer perspective, I often talk to folks, other lawyers, friends, colleagues who want to go out. They would like to start their own firm. They don't know how to do it, and I think more importantly, they're afraid, right? Because it's a risk, right?
Sure.
And I think one thing Brittany said was you just have to do it. If you believe in yourself and you work hard and you are passionate about what you do, you will be successful. I mean, are there stories where that doesn't happen? Sure, but if you don't take the leap, you'll never know. And I think that's one. I think that's the most important thing is just making sure that you're in the right headspace to do that, and just do it. And then from a franchise perspective, it's different, right? There's support on the back end to some degree. There's all the finances are us, but the playbook and how to do it and set up the business and all those things are there, and there's a great deal of support. But importantly, do your due diligence on any aspect. Make sure you're ready, know what it's going to take, budget, all those things that may not be fun, but they're necessary.
Yeah, you have to have a game plan for sure. And even I think back as you were talking, 15 years ago, I started InnerAction Media, our core company, and I had a business plan, but it shifted about the second month of business. I realized, wow, that what I thought was needed and what the customers want is two different things. So you have to listen to that for sure.
Well, for instance, sorry to
no,
interrupt
that's good.
But, we did a business plan and, the numbers change, right? So, we looked at it as to we needed to be here to break even. And as we got into it, the expenses or the rates that were coming in or change, and you just have to be ready to adapt to that and know how to do that and just always have a plan. What's the saying? If you don't plan, I'm gonna butcher it, but basically, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right?
That's right.
Sort of,
yeah.
Sort of process.
And a friend of mine likes to say, if you have a plan B, your plan A wasn't that strong.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's always ways to look at it, but I do agree 100% with you that you have to be able to be flexible and adapt to the changes that happen. So I think that's great advice, and I appreciate that. Guys, we've covered a lot in this interview. Is there anything else you think our listeners should know about your personal story or the Burn Boot Camp story?
I would just say that, a lot of, I don't know if it's feedback, but, a lot of people, like friends of friends, friends of members, they're like, I'm really scared. And it's really just the hardest part is walking through the door. If you walk through that door, I'll take care of the rest. My trainers will take care of the rest. Our staff is going to be there with a smiling face, and we will help you grow in whatever way that you need. Like, we are here to meet you where you are. It's not a one-size-fits-all fitness product. It is a one-size-fits-you.
I love it. Eric, do you have anything else?
Well, what I will say is that Brittany, this is her baby. I've helped where I can and provide some guidance and things, but I can tell you that there's no one in this town more committed to enriching, changing, and saving people's lives than Brittany, and we're doing that through Burn Boot Camp, and we look forward to meeting all the folks who are listening today. Come in and just try us out.
I love it, and I want to encourage the same thing. Taking care of our health is the most important. Health is wealth, right? And so you don't have much if you don't have your health and well-being. And the good news is there's lots that we can do about that, whether we're taking supplements or working out or just paying attention to what we're putting in our mouths.
We call it Keep Moving.
That's
Keep
right.
Moving Club.
Absolutely.
Just keep moving.
I love it, for sure. Brittany, as we close out our time here, how can our listeners learn more about Burn Boot Camp here in Morgantown and maybe even get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have all of the social media, Facebook and Instagram, Burn Boot Camp Morgantown, West Virginia. Our website is burn, B-U-R-N, morgantown.com. And that's where all of our information is on there, where people can sign up to get our emails and text messages. And otherwise, I just tell people, just come to the gym. Just walk in. You don't need anything besides athletic clothes and shoes on and a water bottle.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, we have water. We have fountains and bottles. So if you forget that, you can take care of it.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
I will give the camp times if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're right now offering 5:30, 6:30, 8:30, 9:30 a.m. The 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. have the child watch, and then 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30 p.m. And the 4:30 and 5:30 have child watch. And then on Fridays we don't have the 6:30, and then on Saturdays we have 8 and 9 a.m. with child watch on the Saturdays.
Great.
So.
And we'll make sure we put the links to your social media, tag you guys in all of our posts, and make sure that we have the website in the show notes as well. So thank you.
Awesome.
Our guests once again today have been Brittany Brandt and Eric Hayhurst. They're the owners of Burn Boot Camp in Morgantown, West Virginia. Guys, I just want to say it's an honor to have you. It's 5 months into your business. Congratulations on bringing it to Morgantown. I think what you're doing is really awesome. And Brittany, from your perspective, the passion you bring to really changing, especially the fitness and well-being for women, is to be commended. So I'm honored to have you on the show today and learn about what you're doing. This has been super cool, and I just want to encourage you both to keep up the great work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Folks, this is that's a wrap on another episode of Positively West Virginia. If you or someone you know would be a great guest on the show, drop us a line on our website at positivelywv.com. And of course, we appreciate your encouragement, sharing the great stories like Brittany and Eric's and Burn Boot Camp on your social channels, and get the word out there about not only Positively West Virginia, but about them and their business and their story. And we appreciate that. If you were, on behalf of our entire Positively West Virginia team, including our producer today, Mr. Jimmy Murray behind the controls, I'm your host, Jim Matuga. Stay positive, West Virginia.
We'd like to thank our partners, Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Kia of Morgantown, InnerAction Media, Storymaker, and our studio sponsor, Breezeline, for helping to share these positive stories. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Positively West Virginia podcast, visit positivelywv.com/sponsor.